Streamcast.
Hey yo, welcome to another edition of the Streamcast. I am Poseidon and I'm joined by
The Divine Dragon.
on point, on topic, because this is going to be one of our evergreen episodes where we talk about our favorite bosses, best boss ever, world's best boss, whatever code name you want to assign to it. We're going to talk about most difficult bosses, most memorable bosses, and in any capacity that falls in. So let us know who your most memorable boss fights have been against in the comments. And while you're there, why not give this video a thumbs up if you're watching us on YouTube and subscribe to the Streamcast. Set the bell to all so you get every video we drop as soon as they go live. Isaac, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah. What are my options?
Any boss fights that come to the come off the top of your head when it comes to the most memorable, if they were the most difficult, even if it's something like quotes that the boss said during the fight, the design of the boss, or if it was a boss that was so easy you one-shotted them or you cheesed, any bosses that are memorable for you.
Okay, I'll go with the most fun boss then. Gyobu from Sekiro. Because yeah,
I
he's just
knew you'd start out with Sekiro, by the way. I just
yeah,
knew
of
it.
course. Like I
Sorry,
think
I'll let you continue.
Sekiro's changed boss fights for me. Like, did you know back in the day, you'd meet this like huge boss and you'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna take this out. And then like it boiled down to, wait for the weakness to show up, hit the weakness 3 times, and beat the boss. Which is kind of boring. I don't do that anymore. I like being aggressive when I play video games. So fighting Gilbert was really cool because he's this guy on horseback that is much faster than you. He seems really intimidating because he's much larger than you as well. And he's quite larger than life as well because he comes out shouting, like comes right into the middle of the boss fight, which is huge, by the way, and then just starts screaming his name and saying, no one's gonna pass this gate, you can't stop me. And I'm like, whoa, I was intimidated. You start fighting him, and you're like, oh, he's absolutely peppering me. And then you realize, if I just parry all this stuff or even block it, you can't do crap to me. It was a nice turning point in the game because I think that is the first major boss you see. And I don't know about you, but like I know Sekiro was hyped to be this like really difficult game. So when I got there, I was like, oh my goodness, like can I do this? And then you beat it and you're like, whoa, yeah, I can do this. But then Sekiro quickly humbles you by giving you the blazing ball not 5 minutes after this boss fight. So that's an indication of what the game is like. But no, Gilby was really cool. And I think in terms of personality, he's got a lot of it, like in his few quips. So like I think when he kills you, like they'll just ride over your body and he's like the gate remains closed. And I really like that because he's very like, into his job. It's pretty cool. And even his backstory is great. I think he was just this like random mercenary, and as a shonen fan, I love it when the guy who is rough around the edges, who is a little bit of a delinquent, like gets it together, and becomes like that responsible guy. So like Odin from One Piece, or I was gonna say Takamura from Ippo, but Takamura is still a delinquent in heart. But yeah, like I like it when shonen protagonists like get together. I don't know, like Gobu is like my shonen protagonist because I think he like was the head of all the bandits, and then Ishin like defeats him, but like is so impressed with him, takes him on as a retainer. I think that's really cool. And spoiler alert for Sekiro. No, I take that back because you haven't finished the game. I'm
I was
not
gonna
gonna do that
say,
to you.
is this a spoiler
Yeah,
for me?
it's not necessarily, but in terms of the general lore of the game, it kind of is. So I'm gonna leave it because once you like, so it's like a Dark Souls in a sense. Like when you start putting things together, it's like, oh shit, I did that, which caused this. So I'll leave it for now. But Gyobu, obviously he's a boss, so you kill him. But Gyobu was a very important person in Ashina, and you have done away with him. So yeah,
Who was asking for it?
yeah, he was really. I mean, you did come to his gate that he was guarding. You did kill all of his soldiers. You did kill the guy who was mourning his dead horse. you did kill that special giant in the pink kimono on your way. You did stab a divine snake in the eye on your way. You did kill a prisoner on your way. That ogre wasn't doing anything to anyone. But yeah, Gobu had it coming, definitely, for trying to keep people like you out of Ashina, who have only left death in your wake. But he had it coming. He had it coming. Hey,
I'm glad you agree with me, and hopefully, if Gyobu has any surviving family members, I hope they have used that day as a case study to ensure that they stay out of my way, because the same fate awaits them all.
Blackamora, everyone, man of the people.
Hashtag man of the people in the comments, guys.
I hate this.
I'm going to talk about one that's not about Sekiro. But one that is probably familiar to the community. Lord Shirama from Ghost of Tsushima. One of the toughest bosses I've had to fight, and entirely my own fault because I did none of the side quests and went with all the base stats and all the base weapons. So Lord Shirama is the last boss in the game. He is Jin's uncle, and he's just been like a nagging, heckler the entire time, telling you everything you're doing throughout the game is wrong. He's just telling you off the entire time, and the only thing you want to do is just beat his ass. Prove to him that you are the samurai, you are the one who runs the camp, and yeah, he is on this list because he made a lot of my streams hell. And Sean, shout out Sean, did a death counter. I can't remember the exact number, but it was in triple digits. It took well over 100 attempts to kill this man. And that stuff is all character building, and that's why I've been able to play harder games like Sekiro. I do think if I didn't go through that, I probably don't play the From Software games. So everything's a blessing in disguise.
From Software games are probably easier than that stupid boss fight.
Wilden, this is the perfect preparation. What are you talking about, Isaac? This is 4D chess right here. Big brain plays.
It's hard for different reasons. Like, something could be hard because it requires a lot of skill, or it could be hard because you brought a butter knife to a gunfight. That's what you did.
And that butter knife cut the bastard up at the end of the day.
Yeah. The slowest death ever.
Hey, make it more personal, make it more intimate. Let's go.
I guess so.
Would you like to shout out your next boss?
I guess I'll have to do 2, or 1.5, because I do want to emulate what you said. But not just Shimura, like all the Ghost of Tsushima boss fights, because they gave you this really nice, intimate, fixed angle during the boss fights. And I genuinely enjoyed that. It felt like it was actually a duel to the death. And then in those moments, so like when I first played the game, it was annoying not being able to lock on, but I think I just got used to it very quickly. And it kind of made sense for like the way the combat was. When you got those one-on-ones and you had that really nice camera angle, it felt really good. It felt like an actual duel. It felt like, a samurai movie, which is what they were going for. I would never play this game in black and white because I love playing things in color. But it seems like a great love letter to people who enjoy their samurai films. And I don't know, like just being closer and like even the audio, it just feels more like satisfying when you land certain hits and certain like stabs and you change your stances and you're getting all your parries, and it is just so satisfying. And it does feel like a kind of movie because it's so fluid. But when you cock up and miss a parry or whatever, all the immersion gets broken and it's like, oh fuck, I've ruined this experience for myself. But yeah, no, I agree. Tsushima was beautiful. And I guess another one for me is the Dark Nuts from Twilight Princess. So they're these like big hulking knights that have like really thick armor and large swords, and they're very intimidating. And I think I played Legends of Zelda series when I was younger, so I was really into like knights and whatnot. So like playing as Link was awesome because like you was in like knight garbs, he had like Talian's shield, he had the Master Sword, and for me like Link felt like this really awesome knight that had a reason and purpose. I don't know why, but I never really liked the Knights of the Round Table. They just felt very like vanilla. There's nothing special about them. I don't know. Maybe it's because like Merlin was just better, but yeah, like you get to them and it just felt this really like cool, intense scene because you're placed in a room with only one of them, and like they're very intimidating. They come to you like really slowly, don't turn your back to you, and you start fighting them and you start knocking off their armor. You're like, oh, this is great. Like, I'm gonna kill them soon. Then eventually, once you finally get rid of all their armor, like that big hulking sword, they just chuck it at you like it's nothing. So these guys are pretty strong. And then you rip out this like rapier, and they're a lot faster. So there's like two boss fights in one. Like the large tank that can like take a lot of damage, and then the really quick damage dealer afterwards. So you got to like change your playstyle a little bit. And it really brings into account the sword combat in Legend of Zelda, because normally you can just do a spin attack and everything dies very easy, but in this like you get to use cool moves like the Helm Splitter, where like you do a shield bash and you jump into the air and like you slash them and do a flip and come down, and if they like land on their knees you can do like a finisher or something, and it's really cool. And like these are the fights that reward you for going around and like picking up the new skills. And that's something about boss fights that I really enjoy, when you have to go against a boss that's your stature, because it means things like swordplay now come into account, instead of you're fighting a huge boss, hitting them in the leg, and then for some reason they'll just die after enough. That you could lose a leg and be fine. So these like huge boss fights where you're doing little bits of like chip damage, they lose a bit of realism to me. So I like these, intimate fights. And I guess that's another reason why I like Sekiro, because it was designed for sword combat. But yeah, Dark Knights of Twilight Princess, awesome boss fights.
I definitely agree with what you said about boss fights against enemies of similar size and stature to yourself.
Mhm.
It does mean that you have to rely on other things to get you through the boss fight. As you said, with a larger enemy, you can kind of just abuse the blind spots and maybe hide, use obstacles. As long as you dodge the big slow falling hand attack or whatever, you're fine. But with an enemy the same size ish as you, then you've got to be quicker, and there's other things you need to consider. It is why I really enjoy playing Bloodborne. There were a lot of enemies or hunters that were just the same size as yourself, and you really couldn't stay in the same spot just using blood vials or using items. You had to move around, you had to dodge, you had to parry, and your timing is a little bit different than if you were playing against a large enemy. So yeah,
Mm.
that's a very good point that you've raised.
And you know what? It's actually a challenge too, because you're fighting against someone that can do a lot of the things that you can. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, who's better? It's got to be me, right? When you die, you're like, oh, I took this personally. You got to go back and get your revenge.
Exactly. On the From Software theme, I'm gonna put Gwyn, Lord of Cinder from Dark Souls 1,
Interesting.
for a very interesting reason. Not because this is one of the hardest boss fights. I think it's actually one of the easiest boss fights in all of From Software um, lore, in all of the From Software games. I think it's memorable because I love how much Miyazaki hates this boss fight, because all you needed to do is parry all of his attacks and you're
Yeah.
fine. You just walk through, and it was, for me, I'm pretty sure, the easiest boss fight in Dark Souls 1. It took me a few attempts to realize what I needed to do was parry, but I think there is something really nice in that you've gotten all the way here, and then there's this really clutch mechanic that you just have to master. And if you do it, this is a very easy boss fight. And if you don't, it's a much tougher boss fight. And I think that could be said for a lot of these hard games. If if you know how to play the right way, the boss fight becomes easier. And whether there's a right or wrong way in general to play, I don't know. But there are definitely things that can help you and give you an advantage in certain fights. From things like Pokemon to things like, Dark Souls. And I really enjoyed, for me, psychologically, like, in terms of philosophy, because I rarely parried throughout my entire Dark Souls 1 playthrough. So for me, this was very interesting to now meet a boss where the one thing I needed to do was the one thing I completely neglected to do throughout my entire run through. Because here's a secret about me: I don't learn how to play like the entire game mechanically. I pick 2 or 3 mechanics that work best for me, and then I just learn them. I mastered those, and most of the time I get by in games. And then you come across a boss that, you know, forces you to play in a way that you're not entirely comfortable with, and that's for me more challenging than an enemy that can just one-shot you, or an enemy that's got really high damage output. It's because you have to play differently, different buttons, different inputs, different timing mechanisms. And yeah, for me, that's why Gwyn lives on in my memories to this day. Not because he was tough, but because mentally he challenged me in a way that I wasn't comfortable with, but I had to overcome that to beat this boss and to beat the game.
Nice. Some growth there. I like it. It's actually funny you should say that, because I was the same and the opposite. So I didn't use parries at all in Dark Souls 1. I was like, nah, don't need this. And I get to Gwyn, and I know that parrying is really useful on Gwyn. And I kept trying, and I kept trying, and I kept trying. And I was just like, fuck this isn't for me. I went back to my old style, and it was easy. And I was like, fuck the parries, okay? It slowed me down. So I think your way of playing games is correct, and you should keep doing that. Just be headstrong, not too headstrong sometimes, but just be headstrong and do what you want to do, and you'll be fine in the boss fight.
I agree with that. There isn't a right or wrong way to beat a boss. I mean, there is a right way because you kill the boss. So
Not
the
always.
root.
Not always.
Okay, that's up for debate. Yeah, I'll have that. But the way you fight a boss is entirely down to you. Unless it's so locked that the enemy is invulnerable to all other types of attacks, experiment. I think that's the beauty of these kind of games, especially ones with not even complex, but a solid combat system. The way that you can solve problems with different tools. I think that's beautiful. And that does bring me to God of War 2018, because that game is, I've said it before, it's basically an empty canvas, and your axe and your other weapons are the the paintbrushes, and you can paint whatever you want, and there's no right or wrong answer. Art is subjective. As long as you kill everyone, as far as I'm concerned, you've done the right thing. And watching other players use the environment, like chandeliers and the flaming things that explode, using them to kill enemies as opposed to just using brute force, I just thought, it was very beautiful and inspiring to me. But the topic is bosses, and there's only one boss from the 2018 Game of the Year that is going to make this list, and it's Sigrid, the Valkyrie Queen, the real final boss of the game. And harkening back to my earlier point of when bosses are like skill checks or like exams, you've studied fractions, and now here's a fraction test. That is what Sigrid is, or was to me, but all of the subjects. So it's like the big end of year exam, or the big, dissertation at the end of your course. Because Sigrid had all of the abilities of each of the individual Valkyries that you killed along your way to get to her, and you can't fight her until you kill everyone else, all of her underlings. So even there's like a really nice bit of gameplay mechanics that has mirrored the story of the lore of the game, which is always going to get you brownie points with me. And yeah, Sigrid was difficult because I spent hours fighting her. I don't think it took me as many attempts as it did Lord Shiruma, but that's because I did all the side quests. I did all the side quests before doing the main story, so I was relatively overpowered when it came to doing the main missions. But I think the beautiful thing about games nowadays is they're just better. And as opposed to certain glitches that you can, take advantage of, and then the game becomes infinitely easier. An example like this, fighting Sigrun, is something that's truly tested you, and you have to be on your A game. If you make a mistake, you might as well call that attempt a death. With your blocks, with your parries, with your rolls, with timing, with when you actually use your runic attacks, don't waste them. Saving them and realizing that you can actually get hit while you're doing the runic attack. So you really have to be
So
careful.
rude.
You have to really be careful. And I don't think Sigrun's a cheap boss at all. I think Sigrun is by far, the skill check in the game, in the God of War franchise. And yeah, I've seen people stream fighting Sigrun, and when they finally beat her, there is just this elation, there's this joy, almost like when you score in football. There is this, exaggerated happiness. And I felt the same because you earned that victory. You earn it against Sigrun, and that's why she will live on in my gaming memories. Also, her design is so baller.
Yeah,
Love it, love it,
easily.
love it. And I also like the Easter egg that Mimir and Sigrun they have a past. I liked that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think he's got a past with another Valkyrie too, actually. One of the lesser ones. But yeah, Mimir's got his finger in every pie. Well, not anymore, I would say.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah, also, like, you say, like, that boss fight is filled with elation, but I think it's also quickly followed by sadness, because for most people, you've done everything else there is to do in God of War. So once you finally beat this boss, and you see 100% in your map screen and the platinum things, it's like, there is nothing left to do. You have done everything. Yeah, at that point, it's like, oh, that's... Because, like, it's not... Because in some games, you can just go around, you can collect what's left over, and it's like, I guess it's a casual push to the finish. All right, I got that last collectible, I've got the trophy, I'll put this game down now. Because I guess you're enjoying more of the side quests. But Sigrun's a weird one. And especially because I think I did try to fight her, and I was like, her health bar was, I think, purple or yellow at this time, which meant we were either the same level or she was slightly higher than me. Went off to do some other side quests. I think I finished Evaldi's maze or whatever. And I got back, and her health bar was yellow or light blue, and I was like, "Oh, this is different." And she was considerably easier, and I don't know how I feel about that, because the fight was made easier, but I don't know if I had more health compared to her. I was just almost as strong as her, but I'm not complaining because she died. But I don't know, part of me is like, could I have defeated her like the way I was before? Or did I need that Zenkai boost to go back and get the job done? But anyways, I agree. She was a great boss fight. Like, best of 2018, I think, anyways.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think what you've described is just something that gamers, I guess like us, can use to challenge themselves. Now, I remember that mechanic in the game. The first time I saw a purple health bar on an enemy, I was looking for treasure, because in God of War, you go the wrong way, you find treasure. So I did that. And I think I was I can't remember. I was base level.
On hands.
And then there was like a level 5 or a level 7 enemy, and I continually got one-shotted until I learned to swallow my pride, tuck my tail in, and come back.
Yeah.
So I do think that's something that the devs put in the game for people who really think they're good, to test themselves, really. And I don't think it's made cheaper anyway by going around leveling up and then coming back. I think that's the standard vision for the devs. Like, they envisioned you being that strong, fighting this person, and this is what the fight should be like. That's my interpretation of it. But
yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
So it's such a jump to go from beating all her minions to getting absolutely bopped by the mother. It's like, what the hell is going on? This is such a massive, like...
There should be a massive jump.
Yeah,
there should be.
You're right. But it's like, she is a like a fusion of all of her minions. She's got all their powers, all their abilities. And I'm just thinking, like, I can handle the rest of them. So why can't I handle her? And I guess it's because, she gives you like less time to considerably less time to do.
Valhalla.
Oh, I still have nightmares about that. I hate that because it's not you can do. You just have to dodge if you're not quick enough.
Yeah, as soon as you hear it, bro.
Yeah. Oh, and like it's such a person. Like if you get hit by attack, it's fine. But the fact that she steps on your throat, I took it personally every single time. I was
Man.
rattled.
There was a point where I just left the controller to just let her kill me because
Yep.
it's so long to get her off of you, and I lose 75% of my health if I get trapped by it once. It's oof.
And
Yeah.
the fact that makes me think, Kratos, are you even a god? What's happening? What is this? What are we doing?
I tend to think of it like a shonen anime. Like, you got your main character and he's beaten the big boss of the previous saga, and now they've moved on, and everyone's all of a sudden stronger. Yeah, he's in the Norse realms and everyone's stronger. Like Balder kicked his ass and he weighs like 100 pounds. So I think that's just something to be expected. Even though Kratos is a god, there are levels to godhood.
Yeah, I guess so. Man, Kratos had to grind for that though. No, just not a natural. And he was a natural born talent, to be fair, because he was like a Spartan general. But everyone's just
Yeah.
better.
Do you have another boss you'd like to shout out?
Oh,
Mini bosses count too.
that is true. But I will be going with Sword Saint Ishin from Sekiro because I fucking love Sekiro, and they're where all my favorite bosses lie. Um, Man, everything you've learned in the game, Ishin like embodies. He is the hardest boss that is also the easiest boss that is also the most satisfying boss. Don't know how they've done this. They have mixed all three into one, and it is just such a gorgeous boss fight because he is pulling things out of his ass left, right, and center. But you've always got a way to deal with them. You can jump on his head to stun him. You can Mikiri counter. You can parry. You can run under certain attacks, so you can like fight him that way. You can bait out his lightning attacks, which makes one of his phase an absolute cakewalk. And one of the best parts about this fight is there's fodder just before the fight, like a scrub. So you know how like in the Genichiro fight, you fight Genichiro and then Way of Tomoe comes out. This is the reverse. So you get like a scrub fight just before Ishin, but like you're so strong that this guy means nothing. So really and truly, this 4-phase fight is really a 3-phase fight because the first guy is literally a warm up. You will take him out in like 10 seconds flat. And it's beautiful to see like how good you become at the game. Then you fight Ishin, and oh my goodness, because I'm not gonna say the area, but like everything kind of comes full circle, and the way it happens is amazing because I never saw it coming. Like I knew that I had to fight him at some point, but as I was playing the game, I was like, how does this happen? Because it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And so you get there and you're like, oh shit, okay, we're doing this. It's just a really well done boss fight. You will die so many times the first time you fight him, or you may not. It depends. Because I think I only started enjoying playing aggressively midway to / end of Sekiro. But if you go in there just with reckless abandon and fight him, but you're still parrying and whatnot, this might be the easiest fight of your life. But also the most enjoyable. But he's also scummy because out of nowhere he's just bringing out certain weapons that, like, hold on, why are you doing this? This isn't allowed. Yeah, he's just great. He keeps you on your toes. There are no dull moments, and there's no. It's not a cutscene heavy fight. Like when you're fighting a boss, and then out of nowhere they just throw in a cutscene, and you're like, "What are we doing?" I was to get my groove on. Like I was into that. This is like a nice rally. Like, you're playing tennis and there's a nice rally going on, and you want the point, but at the same time you don't want this to end because it's like, oh, who's gonna bomb out first? Like you're hitting all these shots, you're returning these lobs, you're running to hit the drop shots, Like you're hitting all these trick shots, but your opponent's getting them, and like while you're like hitting all the shots, and you're thinking, yo, I'm doing really well. You're also admiring your opponent because like, whoa, they can keep up with me. What's going on here? Yeah, that's how Ishin like feels. Because when you get to that point, because you would have become so good at the game, it'll get to a point where like nothing can stop you. I mean, there is one other boss, but that's an outlier, and we don't talk about that boss. But you get to Ishin, and you're just feeling godly. Get to Ishin, and it just comes full circle, and you realize that you are the best samurai in the world. Well, I guess he's a ninja. You're the best ninja in the world, and no one comes close. So yeah, it is the love letter to the game Sekiro Ishin Ashina. Beautiful boss fight. Yeah, I've got. Oh, I could talk about this boss fight like all day. It's so good. Can't wait for you to get there. I genuinely think you will probably beat him in under 10 tries. I'm so confident that you're gonna get this done because of your play style. There's nothing new to learn in this fight. It's just very reaction heavy, and those reactions go away once you know what you're expecting, because like you kind of know what you have to do. But yeah, like if you hone your play style, I think you might do this in under 10 attempts. Calling it now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely refer to this. We'll actually get there.
And if you don't do it, then like we don't refer to this. We can put this point in.
Yeah, this bit will just be cut out from the final cut after release somehow. But I do appreciate the kind words. Thank you. I have two senseis when it comes to Sekiro, Sensei Isaac and Sensei Sean. I thank you all for the advice so far. And I just want to get there. I think if I get there, that's a huge testament. I'm just trying. My personal goal is to not get to triple figures. Because obviously, I famously saw Sean take it to like 120 attempts. So I'm trying to just not get it to 100. As long as you kill the boss, that's the only thing I truly care about. But yeah, this is just an extra personal goal for me because I don't know. I can remember myself playing Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and hating those games. Thinking, this is a fucking crock of shit. Fuck this game. Fuck this boss. And now the progression to now I'm at Sekiro and I'm like, I need to play again. I need some more Sekiro time. Is it streaming date? Oh shit. I want to play some Sekiro. So the growth has been truly, I don't know if I can say inspiring because it's me, but yeah, it's been really cool to like notice. And just,
you can inspire yourself. Why can't you inspire yourself? You can inspire yourself. It's fine. It builds you up. They do it. Yeah. Come on. What's going on? I guess I'm up every now and then. What do you mean?
But I've got so many. I don't have so many, but I got a few more bosses to talk about. And I'm going to talk about Kid Buu, the worst boss in Dragon Ball. This is Budokai 2 and 3, but mainly 2 because I have extensive memories of owning a PS2 and not having the memory card straight away, which meant I had to beat games in one sitting or I never saw the ending of a game. And one time, my brother and I were very close. We were playing Budokai 2 on the board game story mode, and we got to the final level, Supreme Kai's world, and Kid Buu is the final boss. The worst experience I can associate to a Dragon Ball game other than playing Xenoverse. But Kid Buu's health is so much more than yours. So in Budokai 3, I think they fix a few things to make things a bit more level. But in Budokai 2, you were capped at green, which is 3 bars of health. And Kid Buu, was it 5 or 7? He had a ridiculous amount of health. Also, he's strong. His Kamehameha is a lot stronger than yours if you're, a standard good guy. And then he has that weird, is it Planet Burst? The weird pink ball attack, which pretty much takes a whole health bar away if it hits. Budokai 2 had no teleport mechanic, so you were getting that ass beat and you just had to firm it.
Did you not block it and take reduced damage?
I don't remember. I guess not. But even if you block attacks, that one, it did a big chunk. I think it's 50% maybe, but it's still damage that you're eating. Yeah, I just remember failing at that level so many times. And because there was no memory card at the time, I had to start again from level 1. So I was real familiar with Raditz by the end of my time with Budokai
That's
2.
just your punching bag. You were just like, how am I going to beat Boo today? Oh, what am I going to buy for dinner? What do you think, Raditz? Oh, he's dead. All right, move on.
Honestly, I'm just thinking, all right, so if this was Kid Buu, I'm dead by now. And then I'm thinking like strategies. Oh, I did finally beat Kid Buu because I remember unlocking, I want to say Majin Buu, and there was an alternate story mode. There was another mode that you get afterwards. So I remember beating Budokai 2, and then I got a memory card. The way life works. But Kid Buu is, you know, you kind of mentioned it earlier. When you're having that tennis match with someone who's as good as you or better than you, you kind of just respect them. Even though Kid Buu was like computer controlled, I really respected Kid Buu by the time I was able to beat him. And this does extend into Budokai 3, but less so because that game is just a bit more balanced. You got the teleport mechanic, but you can't spam teleports because you get fatigued. And if you get fatigued, then you can eat a hit. And yeah, you'll eat that pink ball attack and lose a whole entire bar of health, and then you're back in square one. So Kid Buu was difficult, but I think I was a big Dragon Ball fan at the time. So it felt like Dragon Ball. It felt like Kid Buu should be a real struggle to beat because Vegeta struggled and Goku struggled against this guy. Kid Buu. I think because it was so much like the anime, I really enjoyed that fight.
No, I get that. And it was also unlike the anime because, actually, no, I take that back. And it was exactly like the anime because while it took them 500 hours to defeat Kid Buu, it took you 500 hours to defeat Kid Buu as well. So yeah, that's actually quite authentic.
Yep, yeah, real time fights.
Yeah.
Who's next on your boss list?
You know what? My boss list is just basically the catalog of the Sekiro bosses, really and truly. I'm surprised I got others out. So let us. Sure, no, let me not do Sekiro because I do want to keep. Oh wait, I just need to. There is one Sekiro boss I need to mention. One of the toughest bosses. Always slips my mind. Oh gee, I need to search it up. Like this gave me stress so I couldn't defeat it. Miss Noble. Miss Noble is one of the toughest boss fights in From Software history, I think. You get this really like eerie location. I won't say too much, I don't spoil it for you. But you drop in and there's no escape. I mean, most boss fights are like that. But just because the way you come in, it's like you couldn't even get back to the doorway to escape from because like you drop into it and that's it. And you're left to the mercy of this boss. And but there's a whole Reddit about it. Like people struggle. Some people haven't beaten this boss to this day. So yeah, like good luck to everyone out there who meets the Miss Noble. My goodness, it's terrifying, terrifying.
You sound like those guys who witnessed the war. Thousands of players died.
Yeah, like nothing you've ever seen. You kids got it easy these days. You had your Kid Boos and whatnot. Miss Noble now. My goodness. Pray you only have to fight it once.
Yeah, there are certain bosses that I want to one shot, not because that says, oh, I'm great at the game, but it means I don't have to encounter that music again, or I don't have to encounter this stupid cutscene again, or see this ugly boss again. So I'm
minus Gyobu, who is great to fight every single time.
Oh yeah, Gyobu is not one of those bosses for me. Ceaseless Discharge though is fuck that guy.
He's calm though. Just lure him to the edge and he kills himself. It's all good.
The name. That's why I wanted to kill him. I didn't want to see that stupid name on my screen anymore.
That's such a snake oil name.
It is.
Hey, Do you not have enough discharge in your life? Well, we can fix that with some ceaseless discharge. Yeah, you
That
suffering from clear skin, a working penis? We can fix that with some ceaseless discharge. Is your underwear too clean? Does the smell from your underwear not repel people? Well, with one small helping of ceaseless discharge, we can fix that. Ceaseless discharge in shops now.
I don't know how you got it, but you did like 2 or 3 adverts, and
Yeah,
you had the worst opening line in
yeah,
salesman history in each one of them. I don't know how you did it, but I'm disgusted.
yeah, yeah.
On another note, we need to play Snake Oil together at one
Yeah, I need
point.
to say that. It's so good. It's so good.
I have 3 more bosses left. So I'm going to talk about Jinpachi from Tekken 5 because this one is there purely for his design. I think he looks so sick. And I think this is my second Tekken. So Tekken 4, I was like, okay, I like this game. This is very good. Very, it flows very well. Good fighting game. Tekken 5 took it to another level. And these characters that I already had, some sort of knowledge on, taken to a next level. And it was cool to see a different final boss. And he turns his skin purple and grows a mouth on his stomach. And for some reason, at the time, I thought that was revolutionary. I had never seen that on an enemy before. And I think that's why he's one of the most memorable bosses for me. I just think that's a very cool visual. Of course, Jinpachi has the devil gene, I believe, which his son Heihachi doesn't have, but Kazuya has.
No,
Oh, I don't know.
Jinpachi can't have the devil gene because it comes from the woman.
Yeah, which Jinpachi's got something though.
Yeah, I guess so.
He
If
left
he's got a
with
purple belly.
he left with something. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. Goodness me.
It might not be the devil gene, but he has something because he transforms and he has purple skin, and then his mouth. I definitely remember the belly mouth thing. And I remember trying to beat him with so many different characters, like Mokujin, Yoshimitsu. Struggled with all of these guys, Jin, Kazuya, and then I finally beat him once with King by chain linking grapple moves.
Yes.
I was a wrestling fan at the same time, so why wouldn't
Oh, it's
Why
perfect.
wouldn't
Yeah.
I? Why wouldn't I? But yeah, King was the first person I beat Tekken 5 with, and that also sticks with me. Then I beat him with Steve as well, which is weird because Steve is pretty. I feel like Steve is a bit of a handicap because
Is he the
obviously,
boxer?
yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't kick.
Yeah, but
So
his
yeah,
punches, they're good.
very good, very good. Yeah, that's why I like playing him so much. He does feel like you're playing a super boxer. But yeah, Jinpachi's got one of the best designs for a boss that I've seen ever.
Oh, he's got a great mustache.
I thought that was part of his hair, but yeah, you're right. It's part of his facial hair. It's kind of mad.
Oh my god, I've seen the belly. What the hell?
Yeah. So after looking up this man,
Mm.
he doesn't have the devil gene. He has the devil's blood.
Oh, that feels like a cop out. Why didn't I just let him keep the devil gene and just write out the mother?
See, yeah. When I played Tekken 5, my brain reasoned Kazuya, the grandson of Jinpachi, has this gene. Jin Kazama has this gene, so I presumed he got it from his dad. Because Heihachi doesn't have it, but Jinpachi clearly seems to have it. I thought that it just skipped a generation, which is a very easy explanation to make. But no, apparently he doesn't have the devil gene at all.
No, it's devil's blood.
He's just the devil himself.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Oh,
But my son is fine. Absolutely human. Full of human.
Oh, that is annoying. Yeah, I grew up thinking he had the gene, and Tekken 7 kind of ruined that. But he never had it in the first place. He's still on the boss list because of his design, but I'm a bit disappointed in that because I think that's a bit cheap.
Yeah, especially because I think Heihachi does kill Jinpachi, and Heihachi is fully human, 100% human.
And I think that's really cool. I think there's something really nice about that. Humans being the strong ones against all of these demonic and otherworldly opponents.
Mm. To be fair, I think in spirit though, Heihachi is demonic because he's not the best dad in the world. I mean, he threw his son into an active volcano and slept with someone who I guess is the devil because she had the devil gene. He's not great.
I think there is a bit of irony there in that although Heihachi doesn't have the devil gene, he pretty much is the devil in human form because he is a scumbag. He's the worst dad in fiction. Oh, he's top 3, definitely. He's shit.
Oh no, he's probably top 20 because you got a Chow Tucker
He's probably top 1
from
though.
Alchemist. Yeah. Then there's definitely worse dads than because at least he was around. Like he
Yes, to
thrown his kid
beat
into
his son.
but he was there. He was present. And he's left a great corporation for not only his son but his grandchild as well. Like he might have been crap,
Against
but
his
he was a
wishes.
provider. Yeah, against his wishes. There's Zeus, absolutely awful.
Ooh, okay. Zeus is definitely worse than
Yeah,
Heihachi. That's fair. That's
Zeus
fair.
is up there. There's Odin, but he might have been nice to his sons. He was just
True,
crap to
true.
everyone else. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I call him a bad dad.
yeah, we'll get rid of Odin. But no, there's definitely worse dads in fiction. There has to be.
Of
There's,
of any relevancy.
yeah, easily. Because no, like I mean, Heihachi was there. He was his present. He was doing his
So were
thing.
those bruises on Kazuya.
Those built his character.
Well,
He's a fictional character. It's not real life, okay? Come on, let's be adults about this. Jeez. Kazuya's basically, he's got the devil gene and he can turn into a demon. Come on, let's be real about this, okay? Don't beat up your kids. Don't beat up anyone. This is a fictional story and you can do whatever you like.
I actually miscounted. Now I have 3 bosses remaining on my list. So we did talk about how smaller enemies yield more opportunity. Actually, did you have another boss you want to talk about
I
first?
think my list is finished. I'm
Okay,
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about how human-sized enemies give you more to think about and give you a more satisfying fight and victory. This one goes against that. This is Kronos from God of War 3,
Okay.
just because we've had big enemies before. Like it's standard, it's a standard template of fights, single player games. Big boss. You can see like the belly up to the head. But this is the first time where you are literally an ant compared to the boss, and I love that. He was the the setting of the boss fight basically, and you are going around, crawling around his body, escaping his clutches, but also killing him at the same time. And the enemies on his body, which is kind of odd, but yeah, it was a very fun experience for me. It wasn't a tough fight per se, but I think visually, especially back then in the PS3 era, 2010, a very memorable moment. I like the fact that obviously Kronos is leader of the Titans. He was there at the beginning of the first war, I should say, lost to Zeus, trapped, jailed in Tartarus, and Kratos goes there on a death mission. And yeah, I really enjoyed the death sequence in that fight as well. There was a lot of very nice imagery and colors that were used, and yeah, for me that's one of the most memorable fights in the God of War series. I think Zeus is probably the only one I'd put over Kronos and Poseidon.
Yeah.
Very, very good fight. Yeah, I think the concept of just crawling around this giant and looking for a way to kill him is, yeah, there's something really magical about that when done right, and it was done very well here.
No, that's fair enough. I will say I think Kronos is a lazy bum because Kratos is an ant, right? And I don't know about you, but if I feel an ant crawling on my skin, I'm flicking it off, and it's getting
True.
flicked off. Okay, Kratos didn't make any light speed dashes, He wasn't moving like the Flash. Like, did he even have Hermes' boots at this point? I don't think he did.
Don't
Maybe
think
he
so.
did. I don't know. But yeah, like he did not do enough to get Kratos off of him, and that's why he died. But
Even better, just
come on,
smush him.
yeah. What's going on? What is this? And then like when he had Kratos in his fingertips, yeah, and allowed Kratos to Kratos has two hands. He's dead. Just crush him with your other hand. Kratos was a bum. That's why he died.
I will say Kronos did try many different tactics to kill Kratos, including digesting him, which didn't work still and was the beginning of the end.
It didn't work when he tried to eat Zeus. Why did he think he could eat a fully grown man? A fully grown god? What's wrong with him?
To be fair, it would have worked if Zeus was eaten. He wasn't eaten.
True.
So there's no reason for him to not think it would work.
Yeah, I guess so. I do like the fact that when Kratos like comes out of his stomach, he's holding the same rock that that Kronos ate, which proves that Kronos is a bum, because that rock has been sitting inside of him undigested, not even passed, for like 100 years minimum. He's a bum.
Maybe his digestive tract is just a lot slower due to his size.
No, I think he's a bum.
If you're done, I'll talk about the Rat King from The Last of Us Part 2, because no boss has terrified me as much as the Rat King. It was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And that boss was so terrifying, I couldn't play properly. So I just kept running away, and I was literally running for my life in the game. I was so scared I couldn't put my thoughts together. It's not like a boss that's just hard. I mean, I'm sure the boss was difficult, but I think the fear factor was just as powerful as every one of the Rat King's strikes. It was disgusting. I didn't want to go through it. It was like Outlast. I would never play that game. It was just, I didn't want to even be involved. I didn't want to be in the same place. I was hoping that you could win the boss fight, but you're just running away and escaping. That's not the case. The Rat King was so fast as well. You just couldn't escape it. And then you are able to get one off of them. That one's chasing you too. And what is going on in this world? I needed to take like a 5-minute break after killing the Rat King, because I just needed to get my head straight. I genuinely, psychologically could not play the game properly because of the Rat King. And in some senses, that's an achievement. Well done, Naughty Dog. But fuck that boss. Oh my god.
You don't even, like, story-wise, you don't even kill it, do you? You just kind of bury it under the hospital, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think it just, yeah, it's still about. It's not gone. It's probably just going to grow and grow and grow and just finally attack the settlement, and everyone dies.
Everybody dies at that point. No one's beating that thing unless you nuke it.
Yeah.
And this leads me to the final boss on my list that maybe people wouldn't think about. This is Thane from Dark Stalkers 2. And this is an optional boss, which makes it even worse for me. And he's technically not even a boss. He's just someone you can fight. So Dark Stalkers, is it Dark Stalkers? I think it's Darksiders too.
Oh, Darksiders. Okay, yeah.
I've written Dark Stalkers. It should be Darksiders. So
death, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
The Darksiders franchise is based on the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The first game centers around war, the second one around death, and that was the one I played. It's a fairly standard game. You got your bosses, you got your enemies, general stuff, and you can come across this guy called Thane, who is huge. I have this memory of Eric Cartman's character in the World of Warcraft episode.
Yeah.
He looks like that.
That's cute.
And he's got like a really big mallet or something. And he can challenge you to a fight, or you can challenge him to a fight, whatever. But you can fight. And why this boss is on this list is because this is without question the hardest enemy I've had to fight in my entire gaming career.
Oh.
Because if he hit me once, I lost. And he didn't kill you. So in story, you could just keep going and fighting him, keep fighting him, keep fighting him, and he's just knocking you out. But yeah, it was so depressing to just continually get him to like half health, and then you make one slip up, and then you got to start again. And the health bar is comparable to a Dark Souls or a Sigrin's health bar, which just goes across the entire screen, and each attack takes off like maybe 2%. And there is a second phase halfway in where the attack patterns change, and you still, this isn't you have to be good. This isn't you have to be great. This is you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect to win this fight. And at the end of it, you don't even kill him. I think you just agree to be friends or something. So it is the most disappointing end to a fight as well. You become friends
for your troubles,
and then I think you get like money and stuff, but
yeah,
he gives you the option to do branched side quests, so you're basically allies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight was the hardest one I've ever had. I have since gone online and seen there are numerous ways to cheese this boss or make the boss fight easier. And apparently it takes 2 hits, not 1 hit, but I definitely remember being just struck down with 1 hit. I definitely remember that. So I don't know whether I was playing an old or a new version of the game, but having to go against a boss that just one-shots you, literally one-shots you, and you have to play a perfect game to beat him. Yeah, that was the most stress I've ever had in the game, but it was very satisfying personally because I was like, I did that shit. Motherfucking me. Yeah. I just wish I killed him afterwards.
Wow, that's your ally,
Fuck him. That's what.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my comeback to that. Fuck him.
Damn. This man that trained you to get better at the game, and fuck him. Wow.
Fuck him.
Man of the people, everyone. Man of the people.
I will take your adoration in £20 notes.
Man of the people, everyone. Stealing your money.
I know what you people want.
Nothing good ever comes after you people. Whew.
And there we have it. We'll end it there. I hope you enjoyed watching or listening to this podcast. Let us know what your most memorable boss fights have been in all of gaming, whether it's an enemy because of the difficulty level, or whether it was the design or a specific quote that they said, or whether it's just some other memory that will stick with you for the rest of your gaming life. Let us know in the comments. You can like this video on YouTube and subscribe to the Streamcast, youtube.com/Streamcast. Set the bell to all so you get every video as soon as they go live. If you like to listen to your podcasts, we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more podcasting platforms. Just search Streamcast and follow or subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok on Streamcast_. Help us to achieve our 100 TikTok follower goal, 700 Instagram followers, and we've just passed 800. So help us reach our 1,000 Twitter follower goal. Follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/StreamcastTV. I'm currently still playing Sekiro. It is the hardest game I've played so far. It's also one of the best games I've played in my life. So I'm really enjoying it. Just killed Way of Tomoe at the point of this recording. So we hope to get further into the game and finish it and kill, is it Sword Saint Ishin? Yeah, 4-phase boss fight. But yeah, you can follow us on Twitch as we try to hit 400 Twitch followers. Check out our website, thestreamcast.co.uk, and you can subscribe to the newsletter. You can check out our blog posts and more. And I think that's it, right?
I think so.
I think so.
I mean, Troy's doing a great WWE series, so if you guys want to give that a watch, then it's really good. 2K they have at least stepped over that low bar, so it's better than the last one.
Yeah, I would say they've outperformed that game leaps and bounds.
Oh yeah.
It's a very good game. It's solid. Thank you so much to 2K UK for our copies of the game and for helping us do an amazing giveaway in our 316-day quiz. It's a very good game. Get WWE 2K22 if you like your wrestling games. And at this point, I'd like to shout out all of our listeners from Iran because we look at the stats, we know who listens to our pods, and for some reason, we are consistently in the top 3 when it comes to Iran. We do love and appreciate all the support. We hope you continue to listen to our pods, and yeah, I hope you're having a blessed month right now. Hope to see some of you at some point down the road. But yes, that's going to do it for us right now. I pray you all take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next Streamcast.